All right, everyone, there's a really funny link in the description to Joe Biden responding to a question at one of his little cyber town hall things. He and Bernie definitely have innovated with regards to campaigning. It's funny because Trump's not really doing that. He's not holding little virtual rallies. He's just presidenting right now. So he's done a 180, and now Joe Biden is trying to learn how to internet. And it's really, really funny to watch that learning process because it's hard to teach an old dog new tricks, and he just doesn't really get it. His speech patterns, some people have tried to cover for him by saying, well, he had a stutter when he was younger, and this is just him compensating. No, no, no. Absolutely not. Because he once a stutterer, always a stutterer, I suppose, in that sense. He didn't seem to have a problem as little as 5 or 6 years ago. He certainly didn't have a problem 10 or 15 years ago. Back when he was vice president, he was reasonably coherent. He was sort of a court jester figure for Obama, which is exactly why he was chosen, because he's sort of bumbling, and he comes off as bumbling and harmless. He doesn't come off as being malevolent or anything, except when he interacts with female species. Uh, but the problem is this, if you look at the way that he responds, he doesn't even know what he's talking about. It's just a word salad. It doesn't really mean anything. It's like The Sound and the Fury or something. By the way, one of the worst books ever written, literally literary masturbation. Uh, don't even bother reading it. Fucking just, I love it when people read books, and I encourage people to read more, but that's not one of the books I would recommend. You're better off going with like Blood Meridian or one of the other classics. By the way, Blood Meridian, Cormac McCarthy. Make an excellent movie if you could figure out how to do the actual filming of it and not mess it up. Of course, it'd be so brutally violent, it'd probably be rated triple X. It'd be an internet-only exclusive. Joe Biden's insane. Literally insane. It's not so much like, I like to rant. Trump likes to rant. Lots of people like that. We get off the rails and into different subjects that have nothing really to do with the main subject, and sometimes it can be funny. But with Joe Biden, he tries to cram 5 or 6 different responses and subjects into the same sentence. And so it just, I mean, again, take a look at it. Link in the description. Archived, of course. I'm part of the Archive Everything movement. Make sure that when you send me like news links and stuff, you run it through archive.today or something so they don't get that extra click. But I mean, come on. We've got 1,000 examples of this too. The thing is, it's not an isolated incident. If it were, we could just say, well, Biden had a brain fart today. It's kind of funny. This is every time he speaks. I watched like 10 minutes of one of his little town hall addresses, the round table one he had with a couple of no-name online creators or whatever, like last week. It was unwatchable. After like 15 minutes of it, I tuned it out because it's like, he doesn't know what he's talking about. His responses are, number one, boring. Number two, have nothing to do often with what he's supposed to respond to. Like he habitually tells stories from the 70s and the 80s, and sometimes before that. He habitually uses that as a method to respond to current issues. I used the example in that talk. He was talking about gay rights and how he was always for it, which I can kind of believe, but he's telling a story about his dad who was born at the turn of the 20th century. He saw a couple of dudes kissing, and he looked to his dad to see what his reaction would be, and his dad said, oh, well, they're in love and it's okay. I don't even believe that. I think Joe Biden is lying. I think he's very genuine about not caring whether people are gay. I think he's definitely lying about his dad caring. Just a hunch here. But Biden can barely even tell a story like that without it going off the rails, and this is a constant sort of thing. When they had that one fluff piece, I think it was The Atlantic that wrote it about a week ago or something, when they're saying, oh, when I see Biden and his misspeaking, his stumblings of speech, I don't see a person with cognitive decline. I see a professional stutterer. Like the idea is that this is just, the alternative to him stuttering. But that's not true. I mean, you can talk to people who, they have that problem. They stutter or whatever. They don't seem to suffer this issue unless they're demented, unless they get to the point where they're a little bit past their prime, their mental functions are breaking down a bit. That's just what Joe Biden represents. I mean, think of it this way for the Democrats and how shitty this is for them. The alternative, the socialist, who is a couple of years older, is even worse. They look at crazy Biden, who in the debates is going to get absolutely marble-mouthed and roundhoused by Trump over and over again, and it's going to be quite a blood sport to behold. It's going to be funny. They prefer him to the other dude. The other dude's worse. Think about how shitty Bernie is as a candidate. He can't even beat the demented dude. But I mean, he can't even hide the fact that he is. He can definitely, what they've basically devolved into at this point is just using the slur of conspiracy theory for anyone that suggests any cognitive decline in a 77-year-old man. It's now considered a conspiracy theory to suggest that a person who routinely forgets where they are, their name, what year it is, constantly tells 50, 60-year-old stories, and can't even get a sentence out without it being word salad, it is now a conspiracy theory in the minds of the political left to suggest that that could be related to cognitive decline. Think about that for a moment. That's what they're going with. That's their cover story. You are a conspiracy theorist. Or a Trumpanzee, or whatever term they're using now. I know, deplorable, reprehensible, irredeemable, Trumpanzee, orange man, MAGA hat, whatever. You must be a fanatic or a conspiracy theorist. Look, Grandpa thought it was 1962 the other day. You're a conspiracy theorist for suggesting that this isn't just a one-off sort of thing. Oh, he did it 3 times? Well, you're just a fanatic. There's something wrong with you, not with Grandpa. No, there's something wrong with Joe Biden. I think that we need to, by the way, have a frank discussion as a society about whether we need to have age limits on some of these offices. At some point, something's going to have to be done because the Dem field's not getting any younger. It looks like they're going to have people in their 80s running in the next election. That's, in my opinion, that's unacceptable. Look, we had a national debate over Clinton and Trump's age, both of them pushing 70 in the last election. They're not young people. They're in their mid-70s too. The Democrats decided, well, it's not really that big an issue. We're going to make him even older. We're going to allow Bernie to run. He's on 79 fucking years old. He doesn't have any cognitive decline. He didn't have good cognition to begin with. When he gets demented, you won't even be able to tell because it'll sound exactly the same. With Joe Biden, he was sane once. Like, he's a dude who used to be reasonable. And then he became, more far left for the election, and now he's just gone completely nuts. He's gone fucking bananas. Watching him break down over and over like this, it can be funny. I expect him at some point to have a true demented moment, like, hit on a reporter or something. I expect him to, there's a reason why they hide him from the public. There's a reason why everything is scripted. There's a reason why he doesn't often do the live thing. And I have a sneaking suspicion that a lot of the live commentary we're getting from the Biden camp is actually pre-recorded. Do you think so? I think that might be the case. That's about all. Peace out.